Love is in the air within this week's astrology. But so are Uranus aspects. So while Cupid may be slinging his arrows of devotion left and right, in typical Uranian fashion, you very well may be surprised by where they land. Hi all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to Just Their Magic Monday, particularly your Magic Monday astrological forecast for the week of February 5th to February 11th, 2024, where we are breaking down, just as we do every single week here in my cosmic corner of the internet with a cosmic beverage in hand, what is ahead for your week ahead, how you will feel this week's astrology and every week's astrology within your workplace, within your love life, within your friendship group, so that you not only feel informed of the weekly astrology that you are stepping into or reflecting upon, but you also feel empowered around ways that you can co-create with the cosmos. That's why we call it Magic Monday, because when you are synchronizing with the universe and the bigger celestial cycles, you make your life into something magical. And when it comes to making this week's of astrology magical, it's important to be open to life's pleasant or sometimes unpleasant surprises. This week feels like a present being given to you at a birthday party. And you might be like, Haley Comet, I love presents. This is not the sort of present that's handed to you from your best friend who's known you for years and years. And you look at how it's wrapped and you're like, yep, that looks like a handbag that I've been talking about for the past 3 months. And you open it with anticipatory glee, knowing exactly what's within. This week's astrology is not like that. This week's astrology is like being handed a gift from your second cousin twice removed, whom you have recently reconnected with, and the packaging is a little misshapen, it's a little lumpy, and you just have, honest to God, not a clue what could possibly be within. But alas, you are grateful and you are game to find out. And that's the sort of mentality to have stepping into this week, because oftentimes magic comes in unexpected forms. And sometimes the best presents of life come when we have not a clue what is within. And this is embedded within Venus trine Uranus, which happens midweek, which could be creating some delicious surprises within your love life, within your financial reality, within your beauty, within your aesthetic. It's important to be open to the novel. It's important to be open to the new. Venus trine Uranus is like the energy of opening up that mysterious package from your second cousin twice removed and seeing that they got you cowboy boots that have all of the zodiac signs engraved on them, like a little kooky, a little out there, but you adore it nonetheless. So Venus trine Uranus speaks to delightful surprises. Sun square Uranus is less so. This would be opening that present and seeing that it is something entirely random. Camouflage overalls, a poker kit, and 2 seasons of CSI from 2003 that you just have not a clue why this individual has given this to you. You could have that record scratch moment within your universe, maybe not necessarily within a birthday present format, but just certain experiences where you're just like, really, universe? Like, really? Why this? Why now? Sometimes surprises aren't so delightful, they're not so pleasant, but it's important to remain open to the surprises, whether it's something that you were not expecting but you adore, or something that you were not expecting but you're also sort of confused by. And that energy of expect the unexpected and being open to life's pleasant or unpleasant surprises is baked into the new moon in Aquarius on February 9th, 2024, which squares Uranus and sextiles Chiron, which can give you a radical new start to really step into your authenticity, step into your individuality. Yeah, the zodiac sign boots are a little kooky, but you're gonna rock them regardless. And that spirit of expecting the unexpected and being open to life's delightful or not so delightful surprises is baked into the new moon in Aquarius on February 9th, 2024, which is giving you the clearance around embracing your kookiness, rocking the zodiac boots if you were given them as a surprise and seeing if it feels right for you. Maybe even striving to make the best out of the poker kit and being like, do I like to play poker? Do I look good in camouflage? Let me figure out. Let me find what feels good to me. This new moon squaring Uranus is giving this energy of a little bit of a rebrand of sorts around being open to shifting and reframing how it is that you see yourself. And with this new moon in Aquarius, how it is that you are seen at large by others, by your communities, by your friendships, by your online audiences. And so the cosmos has some surprises up its sleeve this week. It's handing you a gift. Now, what's the contents of that present for you? That's to be determined. It could be a present a la Venus trine Uranus, meeting someone unexpected, thinking of a novel idea that will earn you money, trying on a new style that you didn't think would look good on you but looks amazing on you. Or the contents of the cosmos' present for you may be a bit more sun square Uranian in nature, around an unexpected plot twist, a wrench in the plans. We won't know until we open the present and see what surprises the cosmos has in store. So that's what we'll be discussing within your weekly forecast, all of the energies we've chatted about, as well as so much more. Venus square Chiron, Mercury square Jupiter. We have a lot to discuss, and we're gonna need something delightful to sip on as we discuss it. So take a step inside my cosmic cafe. Let me know what you are sipping on to start your week. I'm drinking a cup of love tea. I'm already in the Valentine's Day spirit, and it has rose, lavender, chamomile. It's absolutely delightful and allowing me to feel very calm and open to what sort of surprises these Uranus aspects may have in store for me and my universe. So let me know what you are sipping on below or munching on. Maybe you're like me and already in the Valentine's Day spirit, eating a box of chocolates. I support it. And if you're listening and you're like, but Haley, Comet, I don't have a Valentine. I don't have any chocolates. Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. I shared that last week, and I love it as a holiday whether I'm in a relationship or not. I've always viewed Valentine's Day as a day to indulge and luxuriate and to treat myself to beautiful things and beautiful experiences and bubble baths and chocolates and all of the indulgences of being a human being. So please do not wait on anyone else to get you the flowers, to get you the chocolates, to get you the jewelry. You can utilize Valentine's Day as a day to celebrate self-love. And that is why I am so excited that I am partnering with Ana Luisa, who is the sponsor of this week's Magic Monday, on their self-love sale. Now, if you watch Magic Monday, then you have heard me talk about Ana Luisa because I am truly in love with their high quality jewelry pieces. I wear it in just about every single Magic Monday because their jewelry lasts. When you invest in a piece from Ana Luisa, you are investing in a piece of jewelry that has been rigorously strength and humidity tested and built to last. They even, with every single piece of jewelry, have a 2-year warranty. So this is not the sort of jewelry that you're going to wear once and it's going to break or that it's going to turn your ears green. They use high quality materials that last. And I'm the kind of girly who lives in my jewelry. Call it the Venus and Pisces in me, but I love to be continuously adorned with jewelry. And all of the pieces that I have from Ana Luisa are still just as gleaming, just as strong, just as tarnish free as the day that I received them. So currently I'm wearing these adorable heart earrings. It felt appropriate for Valentine's Day, as well as this moon pendant that I've had for about a year and a half and worn quite often. You've likely seen it in many Magic Mondays, many videos on my channel. And as you can see, it's still just as gleaming and beautiful as it was the day that I opened it about a year and a half ago. And wearing jewelry to me is so beyond just wearing jewelry or wearing something sparkly. Don't get me wrong, I love sparkly things, but to me, I love showing up within my jewelry because it inspires me to show up as the best version of myself. When I take that time at the beginning of the day to consciously adorn myself, I choose and decide how I will be stepping into that day as the best version of myself. It's the sparkliest version of myself. That's why I wear my jewelry everywhere. Hot Pilates classes, hot tub, baths, I'm always wearing my jewelry. I'm big on my adornment, and that's why I love Ana Luisa, because it gives me that high quality, nearly regal feel, but it's still jewelry that I can live in, that I can sweat in, that I can move in. You know that Venus is currently transiting Capricorn, so we are keeping our standards high, but what I love about Ana Luisa Luisa is that you can invest in high quality jewelry that does not break the bank. You'll see on the website that pieces start at just $39. And so as part of their self-love sale, Ana Luisa is offering up to 25% off so that you can invest in some high quality jewelry to show yourself some love this Valentine's Day, to romance yourself. Ana Luisa, thank you so much for partnering with me for yet another Magic Monday, keeping the Mondays magical around here. I adore your jewelry so much. Thank you for always making sure I'm gleaming and sparkling and feeling loved and feeling cherished. This self-love sale is so aligned with everything that I am about, and I hope that you all, if you used to hate Valentine's Day, just see it as a day to treat yourself, spoil yourself, indulge yourself. You deserve it. So check out the link below to get up to 25% off as part of the Ana Luisa self-love sale. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week. So welcome to Vibe Check of the Week, which is a segment that we do here on Magic Monday, where we essentially translate astro speak to real life speak. We take all of the energies that we will experience within this week's astrology and compare it to a real life scenario, so that even if you're unsure the nuances of Mercury square Jupiter or what it means that we have a new moon in Aquarius squaring Uranus, you can tune into, oh, I've experienced an emotion like that, or oh, I was kind of in a situation like that last year, to tune into how this energy will manifest within your universe. So this week's astrology feels like the following scenario. So we'll say that you have a best friend, Charlie, and you two met on the dorm floor when you went to college, and from the moment the two of you met, you guys were thick as thieves. Anywhere you went, Charlie went as well. The two of you would plan your classes together. You would eat every meal together. You would party together. The two of you were known as a duo. And there was no doubt in your mind, like, oh yeah, Charlie, that'll be my best friend forever. That will be my maid of honor. And it just so happens that when the two of you graduate, your lives start to take different directions. Charlie falls in love with a professional athlete and they start a serious relationship. And after things have gotten serious, her partner gets drafted to a sports team in Miami. So they move to Miami. Meanwhile, your journey has been a little lonely. You're working on your career, but you miss your best friend. And so as you are working on your career, you decide to join a roller derby league. And to your surprise, you love it. It lights you up. It's so fun. You actually continue working towards it until you're captain. Your team got second place within the league. It's your outlet. It's fun. You really enjoy the people on your team. You start hanging out with them outside of the track. It's something that has been an unexpected blessing within your world. And you and Charlie still try to keep in touch, but her life is very jet set. She's constantly traveling. She's going to all of the games. She's found this new posse of wags, wives and girlfriends of those who are on this professional sports team. And you see all their pictures on Instagram and they just look so glamorous. They look so luxurious. They're always out at the clubs. They're always traveling in a tropical destination. And there is part of you that does feel left out or does feel lonely or feel like your friend swapped you out for this glamorous posse. But you also know you've made your own friends, your roller derby friends, and Charlie is simply following her bliss. And the two of you are really still striving to stay in contact, even though the connection is becoming a little harder and harder to not feel forced, because your guys' lives are just quite different. Yours is your 9 to 5 and roller derby, and hers is traveling all over the place and drafts and games and all of these things that you don't really know much about. And so as the two of you are getting ready for her birthday dinner that evening within her Miami penthouse, your best friend Charlie asks you, "Is that what you're wearing?" And you're like, "Yeah." And she's like, no, I have something better for you. Like, you don't need to wear that. Like, where we're going, you'll want to wear my clothes. And you're a little confused because you kind of liked your outfit, but you're like, you know what? She knows Miami better. Maybe I am underdressed, overdressed, what have you. And she puts you in an outfit that doesn't really feel like you, but it's your best friend's birthday dinner. You just want to have a good time. And so when you get to this birthday dinner, you meet the other girls. They seem nice, but no one's really talking to you. They kind of have all their own inside jokes and things of that nature. And so one of the gals at the dinner mentions that her husband had just gotten injured at the most recent game, and you take it as an opportunity. You haven't really said much at this dinner, so you take it as an opportunity to chime in and say, hey, yeah, I had a teammate on my roller derby team who had an injury similar to that. And since you're finally having something to say, you start to tell them about your roller derby team, and you look at Charlie, who's trying to get your attention. She's like, And you're shook. You're like, is somebody here triggered by roller derby? Why does Charlie not want me to talk about roller derby? So you decide to ask her midway when you guys go to the bathroom. You say, Charlie, what was that? Why did you want me to stop talking about roller derby? She's just like, oh, you know, these girls don't know you and I just didn't want them to think that you're lame. And you start to realize, just like the dress and her not wanting you to tell the table about roller derby, you realize that Charlie is embarrassed of you. And by her saying, oh, I didn't want them to think that you're lame for having roller derby, she was basically saying, I think you're lame for liking roller derby. After that awkward exchange, you just try to put on your happy face, but your heart hurts because it's just so apparent that even though you guys have this deep shared history and just so much love for one another, it's just becoming more and more apparent that your lives are taking you in opposite directions. And rather than celebrating you as you are, as she continues to follow her happiness and her bliss within Miami, she's wanting to mold you into someone acceptable for her new glossy life. And that makes your heart hurt. And so you muscle through the rest of the birthday events. And when you fly home and you spend time with your roller derby crew, you can't help but feel this deep exhale, this feeling of relief. To be around a group of individuals where you are accepted and celebrated as you are, where you feel cherished, where you feel safe to be yourself, to wear what it is that you want, to talk about the topics that you want to at dinner time, to not feel lame or weird for liking what it is that you like, for being around people who are asking you questions and genuinely curious about you. That birthday weekend, it was just a lot of events where you were in uncomfortable clothing and not knowing what you could and could not talk about because it just felt like everything you said Charlie was embarrassed of. And you just have this moment of appreciation around being around souls where they celebrate your weird, they celebrate your eccentricities, they celebrate your free spirit, even if other people would deem that weird or lame. Now, why does this feel like this week's astrology? Don't worry, I'm not saying everybody's going to go through a friendship breakup this week. But the reason that was part of the vibe check is because earlier on the week, we have Venus square Chiron, which sometimes can indicate feeling that pang, feeling that wounding around, am I not good enough? Am I not valuable enough for Charlie's new lifestyle? And you know, we talk a lot about heartbreak in terms of romantic relationships, but I truly believe friendship breakups can be just as painful, just as traumatizing as romantic relationships. And of course, in Aquarius season, there is a focus on our friendships at the time being. And with Venus square Chiron, there could be scenarios that you experienced this year, not necessarily at a birthday dinner with a friend who's embarrassed that you talk about roller derby, but you could just feel this energy around not feeling good enough or feeling wounded or feeling a certain sensation of heartache within your experience. And there is a tuning and a focus around feeling weird, feeling like the odd one out when you were at that birthday dinner, which sometimes can be the shadow side of Uranus energy, around feeling like, am I an alien? I don't know how to talk to these people. I don't know what's acceptable to bring up at this birthday dinner or what's not. I didn't know roller derby was lame. That's something that I love, and I'm being told that that makes me weird, that makes me not fit in. That could be a part of Uranus energy where we're just feeling uncomfy within our eccentricities. But the same eccentricities that will make you feel left out in certain groups will make you feel celebrated in others. And that's the spirit of Venus trine Uranus, as well as the Aquarius New Moon. Around, yes, you will not be for everybody. Maybe that was not a group of girls who wanted to talk about your roller derby ins and outs. But there are people where those quirks or those eccentricities, that is like the siren song around pulling the right people around you and being around people who just celebrate you as you are, who allow you to wear what it is that you want, talk about what it is that you want. That's why there was this energy around relief when you got around your roller derby friends. It's not saying they're better than Charlie, but it is so lovely to be in a situation where you just feel comfortable to be as you are after a long time of trying to fake and squeeze into dresses that don't fit and talk about topics that are deemed acceptable. It could be so freeing to be able to just be like, it's safe to be me. And that's the feeling I hope each and every one of you can embody as you step into this week's astrology. That it's safe to be you. That you will never be too much for the right people or too weird for the right people. This is a week of astrology around observing where it is that you don't fit in with the crowd and finding the communities, the crowds, or setting the intentions around finding the communities and the crowds where those parts of you that you felt like you had to hide are celebrated, where you are welcome to come as you are. That is the aim of what we are stepping into. Of course, there's so much more. Let's go ahead and take it into our day-by-day breakdown to give this energy more nuance. I want to firstly note that I am located in California, though you wouldn't know it because it is truly storming right now. So sorry if you can hear the rain, but I'm located in California, so I will be speaking through times as PST. So please adjust to your time zone if you are not located within PST time zone like I am. I also want to let you know that all timestamps are available below for you to jump to a particular day, jump back to a particular day. There's also a playback speed that you are welcome to play with in order to align my rate of speaking to one that is the best for you to process. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into our astrology forecast for Monday, February 5th. So good morning, happy Monday, Magic Monday at that. I want to tell you firstly that late last night, Mercury entered Aquarius. Now, I talked about this within last week's Magic Monday, but I want to highlight here that you should feel a shift in regards to your thought processing, in regards to your communication. This shift may be subtle. It's important to highlight. Mercury is shifting from a Saturn-ruled sign, Capricorn, to a Saturn-ruled sign, Aquarius. Now, I'm a traditional astrologer, so I will refer to Saturn as the ruler of Aquarius. If you're a modern astrologer, you would consider Uranus the ruler. But to me, within my traditional astrology brain, I think of Capricorn and Aquarius as two sides of the same Saturn coin. Saturn is the planet, as we know, of restrictions and discipline and structure. And Capricorn represents the side of Saturn where it's really around knowing the rules in order to play by the rules and ascend to the top within the rules, around success, being the best that we possibly can be. Whereas Aquarius is more so the energy around knowing the rules so that we can break them or innovate within them. So with Mercury in Aquarius, you could be thinking a little bit more out of the box. You could be having unusual light bulb moments of clarity or of new ideas around, hey, why don't we try things this way? Or why don't we take this particular approach? You could also find, just with Mercury in an air sign, you could find that you are feeling more communicative. You're sharing more on social media. You're wanting to feel connected to groups and communities, especially those who do feel like-minded. So that's the first note that I want to make in regards to Monday's astrology. The next, on the note of Mercury, let's go there. Mercury builds to align with Pluto also on Monday. The two conjoin at 4:58 a.m. And Pluto is a double-edged sword in that this could be a very focused energy. Okay, I think of Pluto as like this laser beam of energy, especially with it on Mercury. What you're focusing on Monday will expand. So zero your focus towards the tasks that you need to get done, the to-dos that you need to handle, the people that you want to connect with, right, within Aquarius, the change that you want to see. The energy of Pluto can be very powerful around our focus. Where your focus goes, energy flows. So ensure that you are lovingly drawing back your mind to focus in on things that you want to build or want to improve or want to hone in on. Because let's get into the other component of Pluto. Pluto can be very obsessive. Okay, it could be that focus in the worst sort of way. It could be rumination. And this could be a very worried transit. You could observe that you start Monday feeling very paranoid. And keep in mind, we talked about this last week, but Aquarius is fixed air. And so there is this deep desire to be totally committed to the ideals that we are about or that we believe in, not just for ourselves, but also for humanity. So this could be an energy with Mercury Pluto where you are researching into something and it's just bothering you so much and now your day is ruined. Just being mindful around where your attention is going. This could be this sort of energy where you just meant to research about polar bears for 5 minutes and now 3 hours later you're in near hysterics because you're so concerned about the polar bears. You're deep on the Reddit, you're deep on TikTok. It's important with Pluto energy to come up from air. When it comes to the researching, again, your heart is in a good place with the polar bears or whatever other cause that rings deeply within your heart and that is deep on your mind. But it's just important to know that for you to be able to show up to genuinely help humanity or the animal kingdom, whatever cause is stirring at your heart space, it's important that you're in a space where you're able to help, right? Not just doom scrolling in your bed about to cry because of the polar bears. Like, this could be an energy where, whether it's deep on a certain research topic or even just like Insta stalking, right? Somebody maybe Insta stalking Charlie's new life, seeing her on yachts with her new friends and being pulled into these layers of jealousy and envy. That can be the shadow side of Pluto energy. It can have sinister undertones. A laser beam that could be so focused and so powerful can also be something that is destructive. So just paying attention. It's not saying that you have to filter every thought, like good thought, bad thought, good thought, bad thought. But just if you're observing, like, hey, I've been researching about polar bears for 2 hours time, let me shift gears. Let me draw this focused energy towards my research project or towards my creative endeavor. Pluto is a destroyer, so we can use our mind to destroy ourselves or to spiral into rumination in worst case scenario, or it can be a creator, the magic that we can make happen with focused intent, focused precision as we move into the week. And another dimension of Mercury on Pluto is censorship. And I do feel that will be a focus of Pluto and Aquarius. So all of the unraveling of this energy may not surface within this week's astrology, but I just want you to be observant of it, especially with Pluto in Aquarius. There can be an energy around not being able to speak up on the topics that you want to, or feeling like your voice is being controlled in some way or muted in some way, or people want you to say certain things that you would not say. Again, this was kind of weaved into the vibe check around her saying, don't talk about roller derby. Mercury Pluto can represent power struggles around our language, not feeling safe or free in order to talk about what it is that we genuinely want to express. So you could also observe that in subtle ways around your boss saying, oh, you don't have to mention to the client that you did the project. Like, let me handle that. Like, sometimes Pluto energy can make us a little bit more suspicious about other people's intentions, what they want to share, what they don't want to share. You could also feel this in terms of people prying or digging in for information. With Mercury Pluto, sometimes it can make us a little suspicious. There could be suspicion around, why are you asking me all these questions at the workplace cafeteria? Kind of feel interrogated. So again, whether it's like power struggles around you not feeling safe to communicate what it is that you want to say authentically, or feeling a little uncomfortable revealing things about yourself because you're questioning other people's intentions and motives. Pluto energy can make us feel like that, like kind of in a paranoid space around, why does this person want to know this information? Or why doesn't my friend at this birthday dinner not want these people to know this information? Like, what's the deeper layer truth under the matter? That's the energy of Pluto. It's about getting to the core of the matter. So there can be an energy where you might be questioning other people's motives and intentions around, okay, why don't they want me to reveal this piece of information? Or why do they want this information on me? And I just want to say with this energy, not everybody is out to get you. This could be an energy where you're very skeptical. Like, someone could just ask you what your favorite color is, and you could be like, are you trying to take my identity? And it can be really supportive. Again, Pluto has to do with our psyche. So rather than having this underlying feeling around everyone's out to get me, everyone's trying to hurt me, it's not safe to tell anyone anything, continuing to like affirm things to yourself, whatever the affirmation is around the world is a safe and friendly place. Of course, it's important to be discerning. I'm not saying you have to tell everybody everything, but it can be very powerful with Mercury Pluto around what are my underlying beliefs and how does that influence the script of my brain. Because if someone asks me, what's your favorite color? If my script underneath is no one is to be trusted, I could perceive that and be like, this person is trying to take my identity. They're trying to take on my favorite color so that they can copy it for their own wardrobe. Or if you have the belief around the world is a safe and friendly place, you can say, oh, pink, yours, why? Like, certainly with Mercury Pluto, we can be curious around diving deeper, but sometimes the assumptions that we run with can get to what our core beliefs are. And so with Mercury Pluto, before allowing yourself to spiral and feel like everyone's out to get me, it's not safe to trust anyone, diving deep into, I wonder why they want this information. And I want to say with this in Aquarius season, it's important to know that you have the autonomy and the power within this lifetime to think what it is that you want to think and say what it is that you want to say. Aquarius is an energy that can really resent any attempt of their voice being stifled or being talked over or talked for. There's a deep desire around to thine own self be true and being able to communicate and see the world in the ways that feel true for ourselves, to think for ourselves, to ask our own questions, to deduce for more information. Again, it doesn't have to be interrogation around why does this person want to know my favorite color, but also knowing that with Aquarius season, if you feel like people are trying to talk over you or talk for you or trying to steamroll you into making a certain decision, call your power back. Aquarius is considered one of the most intelligent signs. It's the final air sign. If we move through the zodiacal order, it's very evolved in regards to its thinking. And so with Mercury, Pluto, just observing, how do I feel about this? Not letting other people influence you if it's not true to how it is that you see the world. This would have been the energy within the vibe check around Charlie being like, no, and you just being like, I don't care, I'm gonna talk about roller derby. It's something that's important to me. I'm going to share about it. I'm not gonna be controlled. I'm not gonna allow my voice or my mind to be controlled just because you think this information is lame. To thine own self be true. I have autonomy and power over my own mind. I make my own decisions. I'm not gonna be controlled by other people. So to a mundane level, I would just say on Monday, be conscious around honing in on what it is that you want. Use this focus energy for good. Don't be too paranoid nor too suspicious. Always important to be discerning, to be mindful. Certainly ask your questions, but don't feel like everyone's out to get you or that everybody wants to know your deepest, darkest secrets so that they can spread them out into the world. It's important to be intentional with the information that you share, but also important to know that you have this mind, you have this thoughts, you have this voice that deserves to be heard. So finding the avenues in which you are feeling inspired to share it. Another major aspect that happens on Monday is that very early in the morning, Venus in Capricorn will square Chiron in Aries, which was that pang within the vibe check around, wow, I'm not good enough for your new glossy lifestyle. Like with Venus in Capricorn, her lifestyle has elevated around, I'm not good enough. I don't make enough. I don't have the clothes like everybody else. I don't have the status that everybody else. And that hurts. It's making me feel lonely. Chiron in Aries has a lot to do with loneliness, which is why some of us could feel this as a friendship breakup or even processing a romantic breakup of some sorts. Maybe feeling all this energy of Valentine's Day in the air, it's making you feel left out. And again, I would really encourage you not to feel that way. Please make it a day that's delicious for you. And if flowers and chocolates aren't your thing, listen, it's Aquarius season. Buy yourself a video game, buy yourself a fuzzy hat, whatever self-love looks like to you. Please do not allow this holiday to make you feel a certain type of way. Again, I love it, but we have to consider it's a commercialized holiday. There's nothing wrong with you if you are single. Again, with Venus in Capricorn, when you have high standards, you will likely go through periods when you are intentionally single because you are waiting for someone to meet you at that level. And it's worth waiting for. It's worth not settling. Do not feel like you have to lower your standards just because you feel like you should be in a relationship. The right person will come in accordance to the right timing. So please do not feel left out with all this Valentine's Day talk, okay? But also when we talk about Venus square Chiron, you could just be observing this financially, like feeling certain wounds around finances, around, gosh, I don't make as much as this person, and I don't have as nice of clothes as these other people. Am I not good enough? When we talk about Venus, the core of Venus is values. So there could be an energy with Venus square Chiron around, am I not valuable enough? Am I not valuable enough for your new Miami friend group? Am I not good enough to be in a relationship? Am I not good enough to be able to buy myself nice things? Those can be some questions that are surfacing. And with the timing of this happening so close to Mercury, Pluto, there can be a tendency to obsess and ruminate on these thoughts of not being good enough. This could be energy around stalking an ex or stalking a, ex's new girlfriend or stalking an old friend that you had a falling out with and like comparing yourself. And again, not being able to stop, like going down this obsessive spiral around comparing yourself to them and feeling not good enough. Walk away, drop the phone. Stop insta-stalking that person, walk away. Okay, it's not gonna do you any good. And this is the sort of energy where, again, what we focus upon expands. So when you're in that energy around comparing yourself to this person's career or this person's love life, pull the focus back and focus on what it is that you are building and what it is that you are creating. This combination just makes me feel like you could be getting in some loops or some spirals around how you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough. Cancel, cancel. Walk away from the phone. And while there are those energies around feeling insecure or not good enough, I do want to say there is this nice sextile, and it's important to highlight just in case you're new to Magic Monday or still learning about astrology. It's important to highlight that sextile is a harmonious flow of energy, but it's an opportunity aspect. It is not a given. It's very subtle. It's a gift that the cosmos is giving us that we don't have to take. It's like your second cousin twice removed giving you a gift and you have the option whether or not to accept it, okay? I would recommend opening this gift. And the gift of the sextile on Monday is the Aquarius Sun sextile Chiron in Aries. And this is the healing balm for Venus square Chiron, which also happens on the same day. Because where Venus square Chiron tells you you're not like other people, you're not keeping up with everybody else, whether that's financially, romantically, aesthetically, what have you, Sun sextile Chiron reminds you, and that's okay. You're not on the same path as everybody else, and that's okay. You're not left behind. You're simply on your own journey. And to love yourself and appreciate yourself as you are now. Because Sun is about ego, it's about identity. And so rather than feeling like the parts of us that are weird are bad and that we need to hide them and not reveal certain information, like I said with Mercury on Pluto, there could be energy around, I see things differently, and that's okay. Because to show up authentically can be healing. And that's why within the vibe check, you got to this space when you're with your new friends and you're just like, gosh, it feels good to be me. When I was in Miami, I felt like I had to be someone that I was not, and it felt so uncomfortable. It felt like I was playing a role. Gosh, it feels good to be me. And how beautiful that the codes of designing the most aligned life are embedded within me. Because the same quirks that to certain people within your life are weird and bizarre, and you should keep that hidden, other people want you to tell them more about it. And rather than letting the group that you're around dictate how you feel in relationship to these parts of yourself that light you up, Sun sextile Chiron asks you to live from the inside out rather than looking around, okay, what does everybody else think is weird or acceptable, and let me do that. With this energy, it's like, let me live my life from the inside out. This is who I am. This is what lights me up. And that's the first step to living an authentic journey. So try not to let the energy of Venus square Chiron tell you that you're not good enough, or that you're going to get left behind, or that you're not advancing or progressing in accordance to other people. This can be a strong energy around keeping up with the Joneses. But it's like, do you want the Joneses life? Do you really? Like, the codes around living the best path for you are embedded in everything that you are. Your personality traits, your passions, your quirks, your gifts. That's the codes towards carving the path that you are here to trailblaze with Chiron and Aries. So just allowing the medicine of being yourself to be a healing balm on Monday. And there's parts of that that's embedded within Monday's lunar astrology as well. As the moon will be in Sagittarius all day, it sextiles the Aquarius sun earlier in the day. These are two very free-spirited energies. And with Sagittarius moon, it asks you to pursue and follow your own bliss. Because I want to make it clear, within the vibe check, obviously there were some shady moments, but Charlie is following her adventure. She's following her arrow. That's the ask of Sagittarius moon, is to pursue what has meaning and where your bliss lies. And sometimes when it comes to friendships, that takes us in different directions, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And to just feel free to pursue what is valuable and meaningful to you, to what lights you up, to where it is that you are inspired to grow within. Some legs of that venture may be a little lonely with Sagittarius moon trining Chiron that morning as well. There can be certain moments where it's like, wow, I'm not in a relationship like everybody else, or wow, I'm not part of that particular friend group in which I used to feel very close to. There's some parts of the journey and some parts of the adventure that are ours to embark upon and to lead. With the energy of Sagittarius moon trining Chiron and Aries, to feel empowered by that and to allow that to feel healing, that you get this freedom to pursue what has meaning for you. And so after the Sagittarius moon trines Chiron around 3:57 a.m., it is building to square Neptune that evening around 9 p.m. And so there's such an interesting balance, because with Mercury and Pluto, it's very obsessive energy, right? But the square to Neptune, it's very dreamy, not totally here. This is giving the energy when you should be working, but you are deeply distracted and focused in on something that has nothing to do with work. Something that's coming to mind, and I just feel like one person may need to hear this message. Like I said with Venus square Chiron, some of us can be feeling disappointed around our love lives, around our financial lives. And with the energy of Mercury, Pluto can be very obsessive. So it's almost giving this energy when you should be working, but you are just watching pick a card readings on YouTube, one after the other, over and over again, listening for somebody who you have a crush on, you feel kind of rejected by, hoping that one of these readings will tell you what it is that you want to hear. Listen. Step away from the pick a card readings. I love pick a card readings. I think there's so many talented individuals on youtube.com, but I do think it can get obsessive. I do think it can absolutely be a little bit like a drug sometimes, or a little bit like gambling sometimes, where you just pull over and over wanting to hear what it is that you want to hear. And I just feel like this combination, the kind of heartache of Venus square Chiron, the obsession of Mercury conjoining Pluto, the kind of Delulu energy of Moon squaring Neptune, there could just be an energy around, okay, more. Maybe this one will pull 4 wands and tell me that we're gonna run off together and start our lives together, or what have you. And so it's just important when it comes to psychic insights, important to have moderation. But honestly, when it comes to anything with Mercury, Pluto, it's important to have moderation. And when you observe your mind is going somewhere that you don't necessarily want it to be, just continue to pull it back on what it is that you want to laser focus on. This would be a great day to have a list and to really commit to handling those lists. Keep yourself busy, because your mind can absolutely get into a destructive or obsessive mind space, or it could be very powerful laser focus, getting what you need to get done with precision. And with Mercury square Neptune, you could be a little foggy or missing certain details, so it might be helpful to have a list that keeps you on track. So after the square to Neptune at 9:06 p.m., the moon will be void, so important tasks you must avoid. And you can also observe that your dreams are a little interesting. So on Tuesday, February 6th, the moon will enter its detriment Capricorn at 4:08 a.m., which, as I highlighted, is not the moon's favorite territory to be in. It does give us lots of benefits, particularly on Tuesday. It's just giving an energy around a nice, productive day. But the downside that I do want you to be mindful of with Capricorn moon is that moon is how it is that we soothe ourselves to a very internal level. And Capricorn, to an archetypal level, is what it is that we produce to a very external level. So there can be a danger when the moon's transiting Capricorn to internally relate with our external achievements. Now, this can be a beautiful thing. If you know Capricorn moons, a lot of times they do take a lot of pride in what it is that they do or what it is that they produce. They put a lot of pressure on themselves to succeed or to create things that are high quality. There's an intrinsic motivation to want to do good, which oftentimes makes those born with moon in Capricorn very actualized, successful individuals. It's all good when things are going good when it comes to having moon in Capricorn. The danger of this placement is when things are not going as well, right? When there's a work mistake and you are beating yourself up, or when your career isn't where it is that you want it to be and you feel pathetic for it. Tethering who it is that you are and what it is that you deserve and what it is that you are worth to what is external, what you have produced, what you have created, and you are so much more than all of that. So just being conscious of that, but I will say on Tuesday, it's very productive, where it's feeling good to get things done. We're feeling satisfied, we're feeling accomplished. It sort of feels like one of those work days when you're just handling the tasks, it feels good to get things done. You have a delicious lunch, you have delicious leftovers to eat, you got Thai food the night before, and you get to eat your leftover curry for lunch. I don't know why, but legitimately, I feel like the lunch that you have during a work day really impacts the quality of a work day. Like, I feel like if I have a good lunch to look forward to, I'm so much more productive. Let me know if I'm alone in that. But that's the sort of energy that Tuesday's astrology is giving, where we are making a list, we're checking it twice, and we're getting things done, which is nice because, like I said, the day prior, Mercury Pluto can be productive, it can be focused, but it just feels like with that moon squaring Neptune, that focus was going in all the wrong ways. It was going to polar bears. It was going to pick a card readings. It was not going towards what needs to get done. Tuesday's a day to get things done, to handle the tasks, and to feel good about yourself within the process. And so it's just important to mind that balance around, yes, it's beautiful to take pride in what it is that you do, to want to be the best that you possibly can be, but you are a human being, okay? You are not the sum of your accomplishments and your achievements. Take time to have lunch. Take time to go for a walk. Have time to indulge in your hobbies. Have time to indulge in things that are just for you. Don't feel like if it has no value to the external world, that is valueless. You get to decide what it is that you value within this experience. As I highlighted, Mercury conjoining Pluto can be spiraling kind of energy, and Capricorn Moon also can be an energy where we're being very hard on ourselves. So perhaps there was a work mistake or something that occurred where you are beating yourself up about it, where you're just stuck in this loop around how you're not good enough, how you'll never be good enough. Maybe you made a work mistake and you're just beating yourself up around you're so stupid. And it's a muscle to continue to work around, hey, all I can do is strive to do better next time. All I can do is continue to look towards the future. Mercury is in Aquarius after all. All I can do is look towards the future and seek to do better tomorrow and the next day and the following day. That's all that we can do. And it's a muscle to work on that compartmentalization. This can be an important time to tune into your work-life balance, or perhaps your lack thereof. If you're somebody who is continually taking work home, or even when you're off, you're still obsessing and worrying about work, Tuesday would be a great day to do what it is that you can do while you're working. And then when you're off, really strive to be off. We get burnt out when we're constantly running, thinking about the next thing, planning for the next thing, not really giving ourselves space to recover. And being able to have that distance and support you, the human being, it does support you as the business owner, as the creator, as the employee, whatever it is that you do. That separation is helpful. It helps you be more creative. It helps you be more present. See it as something that is pivotal in regards to your workflow. And Tuesday's astrology feels productive. And it also feels productive around continuing to support a new mindset. If this is something that you are personally working with around, okay, I'm beating myself up for this work mistake. How can I shift gears and evolve into a new mindset where I forgive myself for that mistake and keep going towards the future? Like, how can I support my own growth in that way? And these might be lessons that you are trying to learn. I'm still trying to learn them as well. And Tuesday sort of feels like the day around giving yourself a pep talk around, listen, I'm the CEO of my life. I have other departments outside of the work department, right? I have the health department, I have the mental health department, I have the friends department. I have other departments than just the work department. How can I recalibrate my energy if it has gotten imbalanced? If the sum of who it is that I am has been utterly focused on one department, okay? Beyond just your literal business or the business that you work for, your main job is maintaining the business of you, okay? The CEO of the business of you. And so this feels like an energy to, yes, show up for your goals, show up for your ambitions, but ensure that you are pursuing them in balanced, enjoyable ways. And to be gentle if there is harsh feedback. Sometimes that can be part of Mercury, Pluto, people being very controlling or domineering or intense with their language, or maybe there was a work mistake that you're ruminating about. With the energy of Moon trine Jupiter, it's giving yourself a pep talk. It's having a meeting with the boss, okay? You're the boss. It's having a meeting with yourself and saying, listen, that was a mistake that we made. All we can do is keep going. And I know that feeling around work mistakes. It's the worst feeling ever. I was just at a baby shower this past weekend. The most beautiful day with the most beautiful people. We were having such an amazing time. It was sunny. We had the most incredible food. I was eating a parfait and a quiche, and I had a mimosa in one hand. I had coffee in the other hand. I was surrounded by people in dresses. There was flowers everywhere. We were playing games. It was just such a beautiful afternoon, and I just was not on my phone at all. That's how you know you're having fun. I did not pull my phone out once, which is sad because I didn't really get any photos, but I was fully present, just chatting and laughing and having a great time. And then when I finally got to my phone, I realized that I had missed a Zoom. I've never done that before, but this was a weird situation of like reschedules and time zones where it just completely slipped my mind. It was not part of my processes, and it just completely slipped under the radar. And somebody was waiting for like 10 minutes on Zoom for me to pop on, and I've never done that before. And I swear my blood ran cold. I could not believe that happened. And I'm somebody, this is a muscle I'm really trying to work. If that would have happened pre-Saturn return, Haley, you would have found me in a ball in the corner, just rocking back and forth, just muttering to myself how I'm so stupid and so dumb. I would have let that ruin my day, my week, my month. quite literally. I'm not a Capricorn moon, but I have moon aspecting Saturn, so I relate with a lot of the Capricorn moon energy in that I take a lot of pride in what it is that I do. I want to create the best experience possible for the people that I work with, and I hold myself to a very high standard to create that experience. And if I don't live up to that standard, I feel worthless. Like, I take that on very emotionally, and that's not a healthy way to go through life. And it's been something that I've been really being conscious around evolving past, especially with my Saturn return. And that temptation to behave in the ways that I typically have behaved was so strong. Like, at that baby shower, I wanted to go in the bathroom and cry. I wanted to leave immediately. I wanted to not let myself eat any cake because a girl who's missing Zooms doesn't deserve cake. Like, that temptation was so alive within me, but it's been a muscle that I've been trying to work. So I took a deep breath. I apologized profusely. Luckily, the individual who this happened with was so kind. He was such an understanding soul. We got it all rescheduled. I figured out the problem. I fixed the issue within my software that allowed that to happen. And then I was just like, okay, all I can do is strive to do better next time. All I can do is learn from this experience, as unpleasant as it was, and how I would never, ever want that to be repeated. That's not the experience I want to create with my customers. All I can do is strive to do better next time. That's all I can do. And it does not do me any good to beat myself up over and over and over again. It doesn't change what occurred that day. And that was big for me. It was big for me to continue to enjoy the baby shower and not let it ruin my day. You can acknowledge two things as being true at once. One around, that's not what I want to continue to create or produce, but also I'm still a worthy individual who enjoys to have a nice day, and I'm actually not the worst human ever. Like, two things can be true at once. You can make a work mistake and still be a soul who deserves love and compassion like the rest of us. Like, two things can be true at once. And I know certainly with my journey with this, that has not been my typical MO. And I'm honestly really proud of myself for shedding that. And that feels relevant to mention simply because we are in the waning crescent moon phase as we prepare for the Aquarius New Moon on Friday. And so maybe there is a certain mentality that you have on currently, again, whether it's the underlying beliefs around life or around people that you're shedding, maybe it's how it is that you talk to yourself. If you relate with me and you beat yourself up for work mistakes, or your stats not being where it is that you want it to be, or your career not being where it is that you want it to be, your friend group, your relationship, what have you. Cancel. That's the emphasis of the first portion of the week, because waning crescent moons, it's all about what it is that we want to release. It's what it is that we want to let go of. And you can feel this within belongings, you can feel this within mentalities, you can feel this within habits. There could just be this push around, this is not serving me. And honestly, it's not productive. It's not productive for me to beat myself up for months on end for making a minor mistake. And I know this sounds incredibly dramatic and neurotic, and you're not wrong on that. And you're not wrong on that. That's why I'm working so hard to work through these patterns, because it's not a healthy way to live, and it's not even a productive way to live. And when I allowed myself that grace around, hey, that mistake happened, we fix the issue, we move on, I cleared my brain for more space to take on other issues within my business or other projects that I was excited to take on. It doesn't do you any good to just obsess over what happened or what should have happened or what could have happened. All you could do, take the data, keep it moving. So on Wednesday, February 7th, both Tuesday and Wednesday are very, very productive. Okay, so take on your task, get things done. Typically, when we have a waning crescent moon, we are feeling a little bit more drained or exhausted or introspective, but I just feel like with the nice lunar aspects, you can be feeling more motivated, more productive to take things on, and perhaps things that are valuable to you. It's important to highlight, you get to decide what is valuable to you. You get to decide what it is that you value within this world that you want to build towards. Don't look at what other people value. Maybe the lifestyle that Charlie is living with in Miami is valuable for her, and she's free to pursue her own bliss, to pursue her own happiness. Your job is to pursue what is valuable to you. So maybe with this waning crescent moon phase, it's this energy around, what is it that I want to produce or create? What is it that I want to contribute that means something to me personally? And as you are pursuing whatever has intrinsic value for you, It's important to keep your eyes open as you do so, because love could find you in unexpected ways on Wednesday. And this is going to show up in a couple of different ways. It's going to show up differently within the collective. So let me chat you through a couple different manifestations. For some of you, this energy, as well as Sun squaring Uranus building the next day, for some of you, this could show up around going on a date with someone who is outside of your typical type, but being pleasantly surprised by them, by the connection, by the date. If you are moving through heartache, which can sometimes be like, dang, I miss my ex. Nobody's this person, looking for that person in all of the people that you're dating. But Venus trine Uranus is sort of the whisper around, yeah, this person isn't my ex, and that's actually a good thing. Like that truth around this person that I'm on a date with is nothing like my ex. In one lens, you could be like, and I miss my ex. I wish they were more like my ex. Or you could be like, wait, no, that's the point. That's the point, is that this is a different person and I should be open to different sorts of people if I want new results than where that relationship took me, right? Same truth, but viewing it in a different way. And so if you are just putting your toe into the dating pool after being single for some time, Venus trine Uranus asks you to say yes. Even if it's someone outside of your typical type who you are typically drawn to, you could be pleasantly surprised. Some of you, with this happening during the waning crescent moon phase and Venus in a Saturn ruled sign, you could be pleasantly surprised by reconnecting with someone from the past who you're viewing differently now. Maybe you hear from someone from your past and you're like, oh, I haven't heard or thought about you for a while, but sure, let's meet up. let's go out on a date. And that could show up within this lifetime, people from your past, or with it happening during this lunar phase. Also, feeling a sensation of familiarity around, have we known each other before? And if not this lifetime, maybe a lifetime prior, the energy of familiarity. Some of us could be interacting with someone that we're like, oh my gosh, have I had past lives with you? Why do I feel so safe and so comfortable to be myself around you? I think that's such potent medicine, and that's really baked into this week's astrology, is the people who just make us feel safe to be us. And that shows up within romantic relationships, within friendships, people who we don't feel like we have to try for or not talk about roller derby or dress in a certain way, people where we just feel safe to be. And so whether that shows up within a friendship context on Wednesday or a romantic context on Wednesday, there's an energy where you could be pleasantly surprised by the people that you are connecting with, reconnecting with, maybe the souls that you are reconnecting with. And when it comes to love, I am of the belief that it happens during the most unexpected times, and oftentimes with the most unexpected people. Like, connection is connection, electricity is electricity, Uranus is the planet that governs electricity, and I think a lot of connection is just chemistry. And that shows up in so many ways beyond just physical, just mental chemistry, humor chemistry, and oftentimes it can strike with people that we would least expect it to. Do you guys have a type? I'm actually really curious. Do you have a type romantically? Because I don't know if it's just my Mars in Aquarius. I also have Uranus in the 5th. So I feel like dating wise, if you were to see the people I've dated, they're all so different from one another. I have no type. I have no type. I guess weird is my type with Mars and Aquarius. And kind of nerdy. We'll say that because I have Mars on Mercury is my type. But other than that, you would be like, girl, what is your type? But now I'm curious if people even have a type, or if you agree with me in that oftentimes connection just happens with people that you would not anticipate it to. And that's what makes it so sweet and so enjoyable, that you could just wake up one day going through the motions of your life like it's any other day, and then go to the coffee shop and lock eyes with someone and feel like you've known them for thousands of years, and just feel that lightning bolt sensation around feeling that something significant is happen. And it happens when you're least expecting it to. Like, when I think about when I've entered into serious relationships, it's always when I was not looking. It's always when I was just enjoying my life, doing my thing, and then all of a sudden everything changed. Like, how magical is that anything can change at any moment? And I know some of you are listening to that and you're like, no, Haley, that is terrifying that anything can change at any moment. But with the Venus trine Uranus, be open to surprises, be open to serendipity, be open to be surprised by life. You could meet someone tomorrow who could shake up your mindset. You can meet someone tomorrow who electrifies your perspective perspective. Like, you just never know. And so other ways that Venus trine Uranus can come into your experience, this would be a great time to plan a date. There is a romantic energy coming into your experience. And so if you are in a serious relationship, this would be a great time to do some sort of new date night. Go mini golfing, or go paint something, or get together with your partner's friends or your friends. Like, this would be a great time to bring people together, to have some fun, to do something that breaks out of the daily grind. Again, like with Venus trine Uranus, magic happens when you least expect it. And there's an energy where you might go into this week just being like, this feels like a week like any other, but just keeping that awareness around at any point in time. Lightning can strike in the best way. Some unexpected idea can come into my experience. I could meet someone who could change the trajectory of my journey at any point in time. You never know. And on the same day, we also have Mars sextile Neptune. And this is a sort of energy around when you know. Because Mars is how it is that we get what it is that we want. And when it's sextiling Neptune, there is this spiritual nudge or this ping around taking action on it. And when you feel that connection with your spiritual support team, with your intuition, whatever it is that you want to call it, it gifts you with extra courage around maybe taking a risk or jumping into something that maybe would have scared you prior, because you do feel so supported when you know. And you can't force that knowing. It's just like that feeling of feeling so pulled to somebody and being like, I need to go talk to that person. Like, everything was so normal this morning, but then I walk into this coffee shop and everything has changed and I need to talk to this person. Like, Mars sextile Neptune is that energy around being pulled towards someone or something and not necessarily being certain why that is. And to my belief, and again, we're getting a little woo-woo, I can't help it when we're talking about Neptune aspects, but to my belief, when we just feel the energy of something magnetizing us or pulling us, whether it's a person or an opportunity or a place, oftentimes there is a timeline that exists for ourselves that connects that. It's not saying that we have to choose that timeline. It's not saying that that person in the coffee shop will be our spouse, but oftentimes when you feel the strong pull, it can indicate that there is a path that you could take that involves this person. Or if you're drawn to a city or a certain place, there is something that's pulling you there that you are meant to experience, or that could be part of your story. You have free will. You don't need to choose that timeline. You don't need to choose that path. But with Mars sextile Neptune, it's noticing what you feel pulled towards and where you want to take action. Because when something is for you, or you do feel that you have a timeline there, or there's a potential reality that could exist for you with this person or in this city or what have you, oftentimes you will access deeper reservoirs of courage that you did not know was within you. Like that first day going to roller derby, that terrified you. You do not like meeting new people. You didn't know anyone on the team, but there was something that just pulled you towards it and you took action on it. When you know, you'll just feel this magnet sensation. Some of you may know this month is my birthday month, and I really wanted to do something special to celebrate. And I blocked off my schedule for most of February, I think back in October or September. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something. And when I say I had nothing planned until January 20th. So less than a month ago, I had absolutely nothing planned. I had all this free time and I was just locked in analysis paralysis. There were so many different ideas swimming within my head around, I could do this or I could do this, but I didn't have that certainty, right? Everything I just felt super anxious about. And I was like, I don't know, but what about this? What about this? I just didn't have that ping from spirit around, yes, this, yes, this. And so I was just locked in indecision. And I had given up on doing anything for my birthday because I'd waited so long. I'm like, why does nothing feel right? Why is everything so hard? I feel like I'm efforting. I feel like I'm forcing. And I'm a Pisces. That's not how I like to live my life. I like to flow, my love. I like to flow. I'm on divine timing. And so I tried to just flow with divine timing, but I was getting a little panicked. I was like, my birthday is next month. I don't think I'm doing anything. It felt like my options were closing the longer I was waiting. But when I tell you, when you know, it just clicks into awareness around, yes, this. And I did something so spontaneous. I've never been so spontaneous in my life. Keep in mind, I'm a Virgo moon and rising. I may like to go with the flow, but my Virgo moon and rising wants to know what time the flow starts, where the flow is going, what kind of shoes I need to wear when I'm in the flow. I need to know the details. I need to have a plan. But I didn't have any anxiety or any fear. I just knew it was for me. And oftentimes when we're waiting for that awareness or we're waiting for something to feel right, we can get impatient. And that's where we can get into that settling energy around, I don't know if I'm going to get what it is that I want, so I'll just settle for something. I could have forced a different trip or forced something else waiting for that confirmation. Because I'm telling you, with Uranian weeks, yes, it could be surprises that are unexpected, but it could be a day like any other, and then suddenly something happens and everything changes. Your perspective, meeting this person, having this idea, booking this endeavor. Sometimes things just come into alignment in a really beautiful way. And your job in the interim, when things can feel boring and you feel restless waiting for this thing to arrive, your job is to just stay open, because that moment of inspiration, that moment of intense eye contact, that moment of that new idea that can make you lots of money, Venus trine Uranus can show up financially as well. It can happen at any moment. Believe in magic. Believe that things can snap into awareness. And on that note, I do want to say Magic Monday will go on in February, but you may or may not be seeing me in the Cosmic Corner. We shall see. And so to a lunar aspect on Wednesday, the moon starts off the day by squaring Chiron. This was threaded into much of what I discussed on Tuesday, where you could be beating yourself up, not feeling good enough. You could even wake up on Wednesday just being like, I don't want to. But remember, it might feel like a day like any other. It might feel like a week like any other, but at any moment in time, anything can happen. Your song could go viral on SoundCloud. You could meet the love of your life. You could join a roller derby team and meet your new best friends. Anything can happen. You have to believe that things can change for you. And the Capricorn moon will align with Venus in Capricorn around lunchtime. So definitely eat a delicious lunch. So definitely this is giving another energy of eating a delicious lunch, okay, midday, or going for a walk midday, giving yourself some lovely moments, maybe getting ready in the morning would be a great way to step into this day. Like I said, somebody might meet the love of their life this week, okay? I'm just saying it. I don't know who it's gonna be, but all I'm saying is when you're getting ready on Wednesday, get ready as though you could randomly lock eyes in a coffee shop with the love of your life, whom you've had many, many lifetimes prior with, okay? That's what we should all aim to get ready for as we get ready in the morning. Like, what if I meet the love of my life and we lock eyes dramatically in a coffee shop? Or, some of us were already with that person or married to that person, but alas. With moon on Venus, enjoy dressing nice, enjoy adorning yourself. Another shout out to Ana Luisa with high quality pieces. Enjoy showing up as the best version of you. Again, with this energy, Capricorn asks us to elevate our standards. So it's very much embodying dress for the role that you want and beyond just professional. Let's extend beyond professional. It's also just dress for the self you want to step into, right? And the authentic self with Venus trine Uranus that you want to embody is the energy with moon Venus. The moon will also trine Uranus. So again, be open to unexpected synchronicities, unexpected serendipitous moments that you can experience in relation to your day-to-day. And the Capricorn moon sextiles Neptune and conjoins Mars. So productive day, all day, I want to say that. And again, when inspiration strikes, when you lock eyes with that person at the coffee shop, when that idea comes in, take action on it. With Venus trine Uranus, this could be new things coming into our universe in regards to our love life, in regards to our finances, but you have to take action on it. And the moon aligning with Mars is a reminder. When that ping comes, you got to take action on it. When you have that certainty, it becomes clear, taking action on it. Sometimes with moon aligning with Mars, and we also have sun square Uranus building, we can feel very restless, right? Waiting for this magic to strike, or waiting for the love of our life to sharpen into our vision, or waiting for that dream friend group to come in. But just trust, when you know. We're operating on divine timing, okay? Your work is to take action when you do feel called. And with moon Mars, just being mindful around being too erratic or angry or frustrated. Sometimes when Uranus energy is building, we could feel like a live wire, like just having a lot of nervous energy. So one step at a time. Your job is to be utterly present in this moment, awake and aware of the magic that exists here, and trust that the next moment will arrive, and the next, and the next, and to just be a witness of what is unfolding for you. On Thursday, February 8th, the day starts off with the sun squaring off with Uranus around 3 a.m. PST. And since this happens so early on Thursday, you'll feel dimensions of this on Wednesday, as well as within Thursday, and maybe even even Friday as well. This week is definitely supercharged with this Uranus-like feel. And when there's a harsh Uranus aspect, it's typically things that catch us by surprise, that are a little bit more tense, a little bit more chaotic, erratic, unpredictable. There's certain events this week that are not going how we anticipated them to go. And sometimes that can manifest in such beautiful ways, a la Venus trine Uranus. You thought you were just going to go to this coffee shop and get a latte, but instead you met somebody who reminded you of all of these past lives, who catalyzed your soul's growth, who electrified your thinking. Sometimes things like that can happen that are out of the ordinary. And sometimes it could be more like you're going to give a presentation at work, and for some reason PowerPoint isn't working at all, and you're cutting it close and you do not have time for PowerPoint not to be working. This is not what you planned. Or you had plans with a friend and they flake, or something bizarre weather-wise happens that changes your plans. But the ask of this week is to stay light on our toes around playing with the possibility around, what if this is all working out for me? What if all of these surprises and things unfolding differently than how I thought that they would, what if it is working out for me? And what's interesting is that this may show up within external events, but honestly, with it being Sun squaring Uranus, Sun is our ego. It's our identity. The surprises could be coming from within. You could be craving change. You could be feeling very restless within your life currently and craving a change around how it is that you express yourself, how it is that you personally see yourself and identify yourself to the external world. This energy, especially with it being Aquarius Sun, reminds me back in the day, okay, my fellow millennials will feel me on this. This energy reminds me of like redesigning your MySpace profile. That's kind of what it feels like. It's redefining how it is that you see yourself and how you're expressing yourself via your avatar, right? This is who it is that I am. Check out this glittery backdrop that I coded. Check out this glittery backdrop that I coded. Check out this profile song that represents who it is that I am. Check out my new profile picture. Like, you could be craving new ways around you personally showing up, whether that's via your social media platforms. Hey, that is an extension of who it is that you are and how it is that you want to show up and how it is that you want to identify yourself around I am. That's what Sun is. And it's okay for your MySpace profile or your personality or interest to be different than other people's. That's really a big focus of Uranus energy. Is Uranus is the rebel. It's the free spirit. It's what makes us weird or lame, as Charlie said, right? Because what's lame in one person's eyes is awesome to somebody else's. And with Sun square Uranus, it's this energy around, no, I'm not going to suppress parts of who it is that I am. I'm going to talk about roller derby in front of all of your friends because I'm at this dinner and I deserve to talk on something that's lighting me up. I do not need to be controlled. I'm not an extension of you, Charlie, right? I am my own individual person. And so you could be feeling that build within you around wanting to express yourself in new ways, show up in new ways, redesign your Instagram profile. Listen, and I miss the days of coding my MySpace profiles. If you had a MySpace account, let me know below, what was your profile song, or what was a theme that you remember that you had, or what was your bio about? I would love to know. I loved MySpace because it was fully customizable, and I used to have so much fun figuring out how I could do cool things with my MySpace to make it really unique and really true to myself. It's so interesting just thinking through the things that we utilize to identify ourselves and how those continue to evolve, because certainly I think we're so much more than our digital avatars or how it is that we express ourselves online. But I do think it is a way around figuring out who it is that we are and trying on new ways of defining ourselves. I just think of how much fun I had trying on different themes and different songs and wanting to elicit different emotions while you were on my page and in my bios. I don't know why I would use such weird things to identify myself with. Like, I had core things that I thought were a personality trait. Like, I thought loving frosted donuts was a personality trait that was like in nearly all of my MySpace bios. Like, give me frosted donuts and nobody gets hurt. And then also I loved 5 gum. I was always talking about how much I loved 5 gum. Like, girl, develop a personality outside of frosted donuts and 5 gum. But alas, it was me figuring out who I was, figuring out what it felt like to identify myself with frosted donuts and 5 gum. And that continues to evolve. Digitally expressing ourselves is just one avenue of it, but I just think it's a fun way to explore around what parts of ourselves are we craving to identify or see ourselves within, and what parts of ourselves are no longer resonating. Because what this aspect feels like to me is this energy around getting kind of sick of yourself. If we consider this from a digital perspective, this would be looking at your profile and be like, I'm sick of the pink zebra. I'm sick of this being the profile song. I'm sick of this bio. I need to shake things up, right? Or maybe, in modern day and age, getting sick of your Instagram, being like, I need to shake something up. I need to express myself in new ways, or your TikTok or what have you. This could also just show up within your journey around, I'm so sick of my wardrobe. I'm so sick of doing the same old, same old. I'm so sick of trying to be someone that I'm not. Let me shake things up. Let me keep things interesting. So for some of us, the surprise could be coming out here. For some of us, the surprise is coming up in here. So just stay on your toes. That's the ask with Uranus. And so on Thursday, the moon will enter Aquarius around 5:57 a.m., where it will then conjoin Pluto. So we are a day before the new moon. And like I said, this is a moon phase that's about shedding and preparing for this new start. And so there could be some feelings of anxiety that are coming up, especially with the moon aligning with Mercury. You could be overthinking, you could be fearing the worst. And if possible, I want you to view those things as simply your body or your mind or your spirit just purging that as you prepare for this new start. And when it comes to Moon Pluto, you could be really fearing the worst. You could be fearing for your security. You could be just kind of in a more panicked energy. With Moon aligning with Mercury shortly after, your mind could be all over the place. Keep in mind, Uranus energy can make us very restless. And sometimes how I feel Uranus energy personally is that I kind of feel like a live wire a little bit, and it's hard for me to focus, and I just feel distracted. And there oftentimes can be an energy around just feeling like everything is wrong. Like I said, sometimes we do crave shaking things up when we have Uranus energy in the cosmos. So feeling like everything is wrong. From the MySpace example, the song is wrong, and the background is wrong, and the theme is wrong, and everything is just wrong. And I guarantee if you were to really sit with it, maybe in a couple weeks time, you're gonna miss the pink zebra. You're gonna wanna run that MySpace song back, right? Like there can be elements where, oh, I didn't need to dispose of all of it. I just want to shake something up in a small way. Sometimes Sun Square Uranus could just be like, I need to quit my job. I need a new relationship. Everything's wrong. And that's probably not the case. But Uranus energy can just make us feel very, very restless. And Moon aligning with Mercury, Pluto, who are now separating, isn't helping with that restlessness because our mind is looking for something that's wrong or why things are wrong or what needs to be fixed or what needs to be changed. And again, there could be fear. Moon, Pluto can sometimes be fear around what's departing. We feel these Uranian energies around something new is coming, whether it's a new self, a new way of seeing ourselves, a new way of showing ourselves to the world. Something new is coming. So you can either cling to what was or embrace the new. And today's astrology is asking you to embrace the new. Towards the evening time with the Aquarius moon squaring Jupiter, you could be craving a lot of nurturing. And I would particularly recommend through community, through friendships. Like I said, those who you could be weird with is so healing. Like those people where you don't have to think about spending time with them, when you guys can just sit in silence or make the dumbest jokes and you just feel safe to be, right? Like that can be healing. And we as humans, we want connection, we want community. And with Aquarius moon squaring Jupiter, there can be a deep desire to fill yourself up with that, whether it's online or IRL or what have you, just really wanting to feel soothed and connected to something bigger than yourself and with people who get it and get you. So on Friday, February 9th, we have the Aquarius New Moon. So this exacts at 2:59 p.m. PST at 20 degrees Aquarius. So you'll want to see which house you have 20 degrees Aquarius to figure out where your electrifying, innovative new start awaits. When it comes to this new moon, it squares Uranus and it sextiles Chiron. And all that comes to mind when I tap into this new moon is that saying, you might have seen it on social media, but the phrase that to be cringe is to be free. There's so much truth in that. When you let go, caring what other people think, being like, whatever you think roller derby's lame, whatever you think this is corny, the moment you can let that go, you are free. You are free. And it can be healing to embolden those parts of you. To be like, hey, this feels good. This is an interest that lights me up. Nothing makes me happier than putting on my skates and I don't know exactly how roller derby works, but nothing makes me happier than doing that. Okay, that lights me up, and I'm gonna let go of caring. And that could be healing. Because also when we think of the sextile to Chiron and Chiron being in Aries, this also can pull in sometimes like inner child healing stuff around certain experiences that you didn't do because of fear of judgment. And to be able to reclaim those things as you are older and to feel free to express that energy to its entirety. Maybe you wanted to roller skate when you were younger, but you were feared of being judged. And this is sort of an energy around what would it look like if I stopped caring? If I stopped feeling that my eccentricities were something that I needed to hide from potential new friends, and rather took those eccentricities as the siren's call to call in the right humans for me. People who get excited by the same things. And it's beyond just roller derby. It's all about just being around people who we don't have to pretend with, or we don't have to try to impress. Giving up the battle. That's the thing. To be cringe is to be free. The moment you stop fighting around nobody can see the cringe or embarrassing or weird parts of me, you free up so much energy within yourself. I guarantee nobody is thinking of you as much as they are thinking of themselves, and you claim back so much of your own energy and your own power when you give up that battle around, hey, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. I don't need other people's validation. I don't need other people to get it. The right people will. And so when it comes to this Aquarius new moon, some questions to ask yourself are, what experiences are you not allowing yourself to have out of fear of judgment? Because when you're not concerned about, oh, do I look weird on this roller derby course? You have the space and the grace to just ride, my friend, to just win. Whatever happens in roller derby, you're in the moment. You're just enjoying the present moment. You're not outside of yourself thinking about how will this be perceived? Do I look cool? You're in the moment. You're enjoying yourself. And that can be the beckoning for the right opportunities, the right people to come within your universe. Of course, within this week's astrology, friendships are a huge focus as we are in Aquarius season. And this is a season all about friendships, but also in relation to your social media. Last week, we were talking about social media and content creation, and with this energy of the square to Uranus, emboldening what makes me different within my niche, within my industry, what makes me different? And rather than hiding that and trying to be the same as everybody else, how can I use those differences to my advantage? I shared briefly on this earlier. I didn't really start to see success, if you can call it that, on my YouTube channel until I started just doing what felt good to me. I tried to be very mechanical with my forecasts and very short with them, and I didn't love it, and I think that translated. It was when I started doing the forecasts in ways that felt good for me that are not a fit for many people. I get quotes all of the time, just like, what is with this girl? She's manic, she's rambling, what have you. And that's totally fine, right? Everybody's valid to have their opinion, but what changed, it was that I was having fun. And when you are having fun and enjoying yourself, whether it's roller derby or creating the content that you enjoy or just being yourself, when you're just being yourself and having fun, you are magnetic, okay? You are magnetic. And so if there are certain parts of yourself that you're just like, let me hide that, people can't see that, contemplate, would you be having more fun if you allowed those parts of you to take center stage? And that could be healing with this new moon sextile Chiron, because you're no longer fighting yourself to be something that you're not. You're just embracing the unraveling of your authenticity. So looking at wherever you have 20 degrees Aquarius, knowing that you have an innovative new start within that arena. And I do mean new, like the square to Uranus, this is a new moon to embolden new sorts of results, new changes, new pivots of some sort, can be supportive. Uranus is not subtle, okay? So if you're craving something utterly different or radicalized within the Aquarius territory of your chart, this is the time to support it. And if you are feeling called to work with this new moon, with it being in air element, I would definitely recommend words and language can be very supportive. Remember, Mercury may have separated from Pluto now, but there is a lot of power in our language, and to really tap into how you are framing your own experiences. Because if you are on that roller derby court, kind of present, but kind of like oh my gosh, is this weird? Is this costume weird? You're taking yourself out of that present moment. With Mercury Pluto, it asks you to step into the power that exists within your mind and how you frame situations. If you see it as weird, you're judging parts of yourself that are having fun. You're in a battle with yourself. And so this new moon asks you to release the battle. Just have fun. Be mindful how it is that you frame experiences, how it is that you frame your interests. So sad when you're talking to somebody about something that lights them up, that they adore. And as they're telling you about it, they almost like silence themselves around, oh, but I know it's dumb, or I know it's lame. And you're like, no, what made you? Whose voices got in your head that made you want to censor yourself in this way or give these qualifiers within this way? I say that because with Mercury separating from Pluto, understand the power of your language. So be mindful how it is that you frame your passions or how it is that you talk about things that light you up. You do not need to apologize for being weird. You do not need to apologize for talking about what excites you. Mercury is building to square Jupiter, so we definitely could be more verbose and having a lot to say moving into the weekend. Absolutely, we'll get into it. But don't apologize about talking about what lights you up. I think having niche interests and having hobbies and having passions is so beautiful in what can be a very ugly world sometimes. And it makes me so sad that people feel like they have to talk themselves down or insult themselves before you have the opportunity to insult them. I understand where it comes from, but it makes me sad nonetheless. So just being mindful where you are doing that to yourself or around getting excited about something, being like, oh, well, it's lame, or oh no, but you couldn't possibly do that. Your words have power. Use them intentionally. On Saturday, February 10th, happy Lunar New Year, Year of the Dragon. Let me know if any dragons are here on Magic Monday. Chinese astrology is not my specialty whatsoever, but just want to give a shout out to that. Also on Saturday, we have Mercury in Aquarius squaring off with Jupiter in Taurus, which is that energy around yapping. Let me say that, okay? Mercury square Jupiter is that energy of yapping, and I'm feeling personally called out by this energy because I am somebody who loves yapping, as you may have surmised, likely an hour into this video, maybe even an hour and a half, who knows how far along we are. Mercury square Jupiter can be that energy around talking a lot. And like I said, the day prior, you do not need to apologize about talking about what lights you up or sharing your interests or sharing your passions. But with the energy of Mercury square Jupiter, it's kind of the energy around talking a lot because we know Jupiter expands what it touches, but not saying much, if you catch my drift. It's kind of like the energy of being at a nightclub bathroom. And if you've never had an experience in the nightclub bathroom, you are missing out because there are individuals so friendly who will ride for you within the bathroom. I don't know why there's such camaraderie within the bathrooms, but there absolutely is. Like, you will never find friendlier individuals than the people that you are waiting in line for the bathroom with when everybody is a bit turned, right? And Mercury square Jupiter is kind of that energy around talking a lot, around, yeah, let's go get brunch, let's do this, let's do that. You're never gonna see those people again, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, with Mercury squaring Jupiter, you know, we're talking a lot. We might be making promises that we can't necessarily fulfill. You could also just feel like mentally your mind's very scattered. You're learning about this, but you're kind of distracted here. You could just feel a little all over the place. Focus can most certainly be a challenge, which the moon entering Pisces at 5:42 doesn't necessarily help with, because we know the energy of Pisces. It's not here. It might be here, but it's not here. Their mind is elsewhere. Just know whenever you're talking to a fish, you only have about half of their attention span, okay? And on Saturday, you might want to just disconnect and escape into your own world, but you're being snapped into your responsibilities and asked within the present moment with the conjunction of Saturn. So you might want to go on an adventure or hang out with some new people, but with the conjunction of Saturn, you have to do this home renovation project, or you have to handle this aspect of your business, or emotionally, you're just feeling drained and you're not quite up for it. There just could be an energy of heaviness permeating Saturn's day, Saturday, with that aspect happening in the evening time. Then the closer and closer we get to 7:05 p.m., you should feel a much more jubilant energy as the Pisces moon sextiles Jupiter in Taurus, in which you may be feeling more adventurous, more open to have lovely experiences. It's important to highlight, though, that with Mercury squaring Jupiter, sometimes we can be overly optimistic to our detriment, okay? Mercury is typically energy that's about the details sextiles with the square to Jupiter, we could be procrastinating a little bit. We could be not asking the questions that we need to. We can be overly trusting. Quite a different energy from the paranoia we were experiencing earlier in the week with Mercury on Pluto. So just be important to stay grounded. On Sunday, February 11th, I have to ask you something. Do you believe in magic? Because Sunday's astrology is giving very magical. And again, magic happens when you least expect it. We have the moon transiting Pisces all day long, which is going with the flow, with the cosmic currents, right? Pisces is the fish. It's like we're going with the flow, but it feels like if we relax out of how we expected things to unfold, we could happen upon some really beautiful parts of the river. You could really find that things are synchronistically coming into alignment. Things are working out, following the breadcrumbs around where you are feeling led, saying yes if a cool opportunity comes your way. If you get a nudge to try the new bakery or discover the new coffee shop, you never know what you could find. It could be a delicious new latte, or it could be the love of your life. You won't know until you follow the ping. Go in and order. So my loves, that is our week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I welcome in divine serendipity. There is this spirit alive within this week's astrology around being able to stumble upon something magical and to be open to life surprising you. And sometimes the most delightful presents that the cosmos will hand you will be in the most unassuming packaging, right? Sometimes you can get caught in the rain and feel so frustrated, but that delay made it so that you ran into a dear friend that you haven't seen for years and years, and you guys reconnect your friendship, right? The initial surprise, getting caught in the rain, was not ideal, but there was a sweet gift on the other side, nevertheless. It's important when navigating this week to be open to be surprised by life, and some of those surprises might be delightful right out the gate, and sometimes you might take some time to get to the true gift at the other side, but important to stay open to serendipity, the act of finding something beautiful and delightful and divine without looking for it. Allow yourself to be surprised by life. Magic happens when you least expect it. So if you made it to the end of the video, let me know by commenting below a roller skate emoji or using the word roller skate within a sentence to let me know that you made it to the end. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would so love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water, stay